This one simple skill helped me go from making 40 grand a year as a front desk agent to now making more than a neurosurgeon does, and it only took me 12 months. And here are some checks to prove this. November, 16 grand made in a single month. December, 13,000. December going to January, 13 grand. February, $16,000 made from the skill I'm about to show you guys. And the best part about this was that I had the freedom to work whenever I wanted, wherever I wanted, and however much I chose. Now, I didn't have to do anything crazy here. There was no buying and shipping packages from China. I didn't have to spend months searching for real estate or Airbnb, and definitely did not have to waste my time creating TikToks and Instagram Reels and all that content to start a business. Because the truth is, all those businesses are hard and they require a lot of cash to get started. So unless you got a vault full of money somewhere, good luck getting any of those up and running. Because 2 years ago, I tried Amazon and it put me $30,000 in credit card debt, and I felt miserable, and getting out of that was a nightmare that I do not want anyone to go through. But you could potentially when it comes to starting a business that requires cash up front. Now, this skill set, guys, requires no money down, limited experience, but what is this magical 5-figure a month skill? It's called remote closing. And this is a skill that helped me go from a struggling college graduate working at the front desk to now making over $300,000 in a year. Here's a pay stub to prove this. It's real. Now, this just hasn't changed my life, guys. This has changed my students' lives as well. Amika, she joined the program about 2 months ago. Her first month, she made $15,000. And before that, she was working as a nurse in a hospital during COVID and having the toughest time during the pandemic. And there's also Ben, my good buddy, who made $2,600 in a single week from remote closing. Before that, Ben was doing real estate, making a couple $100 from a property. And now he's on a straight path to change his entire life. And then take my best friend Ed, who was doing life insurance sales previously, and first month made $15,000. Now he's in DR, living the time of his life, having fun, because he has the freedom to do what he wants. But the key for all the folks you guys just saw was that they started a business prior, and that business failed. But when it came to remote closing, they saw fast success. And like many of you guys, you tried Amazon or dropshipping or all these businesses, and they haven't worked out. But the thing to remember here, guys, it could just be the opportunity that you're in. My favorite movie is called The Founder, and it's about the guy who founded McDonald's. And when he was franchising these different McDonald's to go across the world, he needed franchise owners and operators to run these businesses. You know who the best people were? Struggling salespeople, he noticed, because they had the grit, the grind, the work ethic. They were just in the wrong vehicle to make money. But guess what happened? They switched over to becoming franchise owners of these McDonald's, and their skyrocket of income was crazy. They made more than they ever made because they switched opportunities, got into a different vehicle, and that was the thing that took them to the next level. It's like the good brother Warren Buffett says, it's not how hard you row, it's what boat you are in, which just means you could be in the wrong vehicle. It's not you or the businesses you tried. You just have to find the right opportunity. And that's what I hope remote closing is for you guys. Now, here's how this whole thing works, and it's very simple. You've seen these ads all over your Facebook page. People asking you to join a webinar, become a coach, digital products. When you see these ads, guys, these are online coaches who have a product. A lot of times the entry level could be a ebook for a few dollars or a webinar. But if you ever wondered how the heck these people are making money, the answer is on the back end. Those $20 ebooks that get you into the door, that just pays for the ad cost to even get you there. But the real money is made on their high ticket coaching programs that are 5K, 10K, 15K, 20K. And even in my situation with what I'm selling with my coach, it's a $55,000 program that people are ready to invest in. But how do we play a part with all this? Now, before someone makes this type of investment of 5K and above, they gotta talk to a human being first. Ask questions, make sure it's a good decision, feel confident in this. No different than if you were buying a luxury car. You wanna make sure all your questions are answered. You have questions about the spec, the finances, all those things. You're likely just not going online and pressing the button. You need to talk to a human first, and that's where we come in as remote closers. Now, in the whole grand picture of this, when we're on these calls, all we're legitimately doing is listening to the client and helping them solve a problem. That's it. Listening, asking questions, solving problems, which anyone can do. And maybe it makes sense and maybe it doesn't make sense for the client. Our job is to see if we can help that person. But here's a quick recap of the whole model. You got the online coach who has the high ticket coaching program. And us, we come in, help the client. When we help the client invest in the program, we make 10% commission off these deals. So for a 10K deal, guys, you make $1,000. You can see how it could add up. You get 5 of those in a week. That could be $5,000 in a single week you can make. But here's the whole breakdown of how this would work for you. In a day, you will have around 6 appointments scheduled for you. There's no cold calling, and this is all done from home. Let's say 4 of them show up to the call. And the program, will be conservative, is $7,500. When you help the client, you just made $750. And these calls are no more than 30 minutes to 45 minutes of your time. But tell me, what can you do to make $750 in an hour? A lot of times we're working very hard. With remote closing, you're working very smart now. So let's say on average, you're closing 25% of the deals, one out of every 4. You have 20 calls in a week. You close 5 of those deals. You make $3,750 in a single week, guys. Over the course of 4 weeks, that is $15,000 you would make. As a front desk agent, I was making around $3,000 a month. Now as a remote closer, I'm making what took me 5 months to make at my old job in a single month now. And it could stack up to 20, 30 grand sometimes. Now, this isn't traditional sales like a lot of people think. A lot of people are concerned of like hearing the word no, but this is where the client is already interested in the product. There is no pressure selling and making someone do something they don't want to do, but we are just helping that person solve a problem. You wake up to qualified book calls every single morning, and in most situations, the client at the end of the call is thanking them or thanking you for helping them solve their problem. They're excited, they had a fear that they just overcame, and you helped them, and now you're a part of their journey, and you're making a real impact on the world now. But rather, like how most people do, is start a business, it makes way more sense to join someone who's already on the come up. No different than that founder's example. The salespeople or the franchise owners, they didn't have to go out and build a McDonald's from the ground up. They just hopped on a wave that was already on the come up and joined somebody who was already winning. And that's the thing for most of you guys. You're trying to start something which hasn't worked, but the key is just hopping in, working with someone who is already on the come up. And that's the power of remote closing. You're saving time. Now, how I got started in this whole process isn't that crazy. Before remote closing, I was a front desk agent, working 45, sometimes 50 hours a week, doing overtime. And I remember every single day thinking, going to work, going to sleep, waking up is a routine that is very, very mundane. And I kept thinking that this can't be how my life should be. And most importantly, checking in people at the front desk, while it's helpful, I didn't feel like I was making a real impact on the world. And my bank account showed that. But was the true breaking point for me, guys, was I remember there was the sweetest elderly lady that I worked with. She's around 5'5", and I remember she was always sick coming to the front desk. She would have different colds and things that are always kind of, sicknesses. But one day when I came into work, she wasn't there. And I remember somebody telling me that she passed away in her sleep. That lady had worked there since the opening of the hotel, 25, 30 years, I think. And I remember talking to her on some days, and she told me how she always wanted to just go back to her home country. She was from Switzerland, and spend time with her family and her grandkids. And she told me how she can't wait for that day to actually happen. It's sad to say, guys, but that day never happened for her. And she never got out that front desk. She literally died doing a job she didn't enjoy. And when that day happened, it was crazy because the next few days, her shift was up for bid and the world kept moving as if nothing even happened. And when that impacted me, I thought damn, this cannot be my reality. If I don't make a change, this is guaranteed to be me. So what I did, guys, was look into other ways to make money. I found Amazon. I started drop shipping, doing wholesale. It put me $30K in credit card debt. Growing up, my parents preached education, education, education. I ran down that path, and unfortunately, it led me to $30K in credit card debt. But the true change that really elevated my life was when I met a coach, my boy Nehemiah, and he put me on to remote closing. My first month doing this, I made $3K. My second month, $4,500. And keep in mind, this is all while I'm working a job still at the front desk. My third month, $5K. In my fourth month, I made $10,000 from remote closing. And I remember that feeling like it was literally yesterday, feeling that I had literally made it. My first 5 figures was life-changing, and it gave me momentum to keep on going. Now, since then, life has been really good. I mean, I've been to 8 countries: Barcelona, Barbados, Mexico, Colombia, Costa Rica, plenty of different places. And in each of those places, I met new people, but most importantly, I was able to make money in all of these different countries. No longer did I have the shackles of a 9-to-5 job holding me back. At this point, guys, I was in full control, traveling, living life on my terms because I had a skill set that could pay me whenever and wherever I wanted. But to take it one step further, for many of you guys, money is important, but it's not everything. And for me personally, when I started making 10, 15 grand a month, I started to invest in my health. I was always kind of skinny fat. I had a little gut, didn't feel the best with my shirt off, but I invested into some of the best trainers to get me into amazing shape, as you guys see here. Started affording some of the best foods I could eat. And honestly, this saved years of my life because how I was dieting and looking was a path to literally destruction. But I met great people. I was able to afford a new trainer, and my life took off. But while yes, this is great for a lot of people, honestly, it really isn't for everybody. Like if you're someone who always says you're going to do something and you don't, this isn't for you. Or if you have like a glass half empty mindset, or you always think of the worst case scenario, oh my God, what if this happens? What if this happens? You're always a kind of a negative thinking person. Don't worry about this. But you would be good at this if you're someone who has tried to get in the game. Maybe it didn't go your way, but you tried. Or you just tend to think positive about things. You always have a glass half full mindset and think, what if this goes right? Majority of people in the world, they think negative, and hence is why they have a negative life. But what I want to do, guys, is help you make that transition to the next phase of your life. And that's why we have Remote Closer University, where we pair you up with an online coach with a proven offer that can get you to your first 5 figures. We have coaches in the program who are literally going to take you step by step, hold your hand to the finish line until you get to your first 10K month. Coaches that have closed deals, they're making 10, 15, 20 grand a month. So you're following a path that has worked for myself and them. So you know it's going to work for you. Just put the work in. And most importantly, you are who you surround yourself with. There is no way you can make 10, 20 grand a month, help your community, change your life if you're not around other people who think like you. So you'll be surrounded by folks who are on the same level to help you level up, because our number one goal is to just help you make more money in 30 days here. Because in the big scheme of this, guys, the online education industry is a $31 billion industry, and it will only grow as more people wake up and realize traditional schooling, it doesn't work, unfortunately. Going to school, learning about business from a teacher who's never actually started a business is not practical. We legitimately have never lived in a time where you can make more money than a neurosurgeon without having to sacrifice 3, 4, 5, 10 years of school. This is the opportunity that a lot of people are going to let pass by, because poor, it stands for passing over opportunities repeatedly. And please believe, in this program, we are not poor in our mindsets and definitely not in our bank accounts. So please don't let this pass you by. So to recap, guys, very quickly, you get to work from home. You make more than a neurosurgeon does, and you can offer something that changes lives and makes people happy. You're creating a positive impact in the world. Now, we only have a limited amount of coaches who can actually help you get to those 5 figures. There's a lot of coaches, but not a lot with good offers. If you are serious about making a change, these coaches do move fast because we pair up very quickly. So you need to move today, because if you want to get to your goals fast, guess what? You got to move fast. If you want to get to your goals slow, this isn't the program for you. Because if there's one thing that I've learned from my mentor, it's that success loves speed. Speed is the variable. So if you are sick and tired of your current situation and you feel you are ready for a change, to make sure that this time next year, you are not in the same situation, when do you think you have to make a change? Today. Today is the day to prevent your tomorrow, next year from continuing to happen. So if you guys feel that you're ready to go in and make a change in your life, help your community, impact your family, and most importantly, impact your bank account, click below. Fill out the application. Talk to an actual member of the program. You can hear about his or her experience, and they will help you create a game plan so that you can get to where you want to be and live life on your terms. Let's go. See you inside.